What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ryan Pineda Show, where we talk all things business, entrepreneurship, and real estate. And today we are finishing up our series on the Tesla Model X that I recently bought. If you guys stay for the end, I'm going to tell you how one real estate deal paid for this car. So you guys are probably waiting, how did one real estate deal pay for this car? So if you missed the first two parts of this series, in the first video, which you can find right here, we go and pick it up. It's a super exciting moment. In the second video, which you can find right here, we dropped it off over at the body shop where they wrapped it in this beautiful blue to match my suit and just everything I got going on back here, and it turned out amazing. Now in this final video, I wanna go over the business side so you guys can understand the reasoning behind it. We're gonna talk about the tax benefits, how I bought it, did I use financing, did I use cash? And lastly, we're gonna talk about how just one real estate deal paid for this car. So instead of me sitting here talking about it, let's go talk about it in the car. So when I first bought the car, I wanted to get one of those cool jackets that they wear at the dealership. And my wife was like, no, that's so lame, the people that do that. So I didn't do that. Instead, all I was left with was this bottle right here. All right, so we got the car right here. As you could tell, I'm that guy right now with the messed up parking job. And no, it wasn't parked like this the whole time, just for this video. All right, so obviously, like we talked about in video number 2 of this series, we got it wrapped, same colors as Future Flipper, my education company. As you can tell, I'm kind of going through this blue and black phase right now, where I'm getting everything black and blue. I don't know why, but I think it looks cool. So let's go over the first question on this car in particular. Was I going to buy it used or was I gonna buy it new? That's the first thing you need to ask yourself when you're buying a car. I haven't bought a new car since 2014. The last new one I bought was a Mazda 6. We had just gotten married and I instantly regretted it. I regretted it so much that I sold it 6 months later for a loss. It had nothing to do with the car. In fact, I actually liked the Mazda 6, but I had paid cash for it and I pretty much had no money. So I sold it off, ended up buying a 2004 Toyota Tundra right after that, and kept the cash. And ever since that, I've only bought used cars. I've had Toyotas, Volkswagens, Lexus. What else did I have? And that's just me personally. I've also bought my parents a car, I've bought my wife cars, and every single one of them has been used. So for me, I initially was looking for a used one. That's just my nature. And I looked at many different websites, but I knew firsthand that I needed to have the white interior because I just loved how it looked, and I needed the 6-seater. I wanted to be able to go in the back seat pretty easily, put my kids back there, and I figured that would be the best for us. After doing research, I saw that the 2016 had a lot of different issues that they addressed later in the 2017. And I saw that the 2017 was almost similar to what they're selling now with the 2020. So I started looking for a 2017 and above, and I quickly realized that buying it directly from Tesla was gonna be cheaper than buying it from another dealer or even buying it private party. And the reason for that is that Tesla can actually do all of their software updates for free. To get the full self-driving package, which is amazing, and I'll probably do another video on that at some point, it's a $7,000 upgrade. So when Tesla goes to sell it used, they can instantly go put that upgrade and it doesn't cost them much. But when I go and buy it from a private party or I go and buy it from a dealership, they can't do that. And that's a feature I had to have. So that's how Tesla is able to compete with these used car dealers and actually be better than them. On top of that, Tesla can offer multiple things such as free supercharging, their extended warranty, and throw that all in with the package. So after doing the research, if I was gonna buy used, it didn't make sense to buy it anywhere but Tesla. Man, this thing's comfy. All right, so I started the hunt. All I was looking for was a 2017 white interior, 6 seats, and on Tesla.com, they had a few of them. It ended up being about $75,000 for a standard version, or an extra $10,000 more and you can get the P100D. And on top of the P100D, we are also getting these 22-inch wheels, which are just beautiful and I had to have. You get a bigger battery and more range, so it made sense just to spend the extra $10,000. So at this point, the decision was I can get the P100D, top of the line, all the upgrades, everything I want inside for $85,000, or I can get a brand new one for $125,000. And to me, it was a no-brainer. I would rather get this car for $40,000 less with only 30,000 miles. The car is almost identical to what they have on the 2020s, and it's just not worth it for me to spend the 40 grand. On top of that, I get the same exact warranty that these new cars have. We've got 4 years and 50,000 miles on this, and I've actually already taken it to the Tesla shop and had some things repaired, completely free. So that's why I chose to go used over new. Okay, so now let's talk about the next decision once you know what car you're gonna buy, and that is, are you gonna finance it or buy it cash? Once again, I actually haven't financed a car in about 6 years. I've always bought my cars cash, but part of that was because I was always buying them private party, and they were really cheap. I wasn't spending more than 20 grand for a car. The Lexus that I was driving before this, I paid $40,000 for and I bought it cash. But when you're gonna go buy a car for $85,000 and pay taxes and registration, you gotta really analyze if you could spend this money in a better way. I'm a big believer that you should not buy a car if you don't have the cash to buy it. And that's just how I've always felt about cars. But that doesn't mean you have to buy it cash. I'm just saying you should have the cash to buy the car if that's the car you want. If not, it just means you need to buy a cheaper car or work harder and figure out how you can make more money. Anyways, Tesla offers financing when you go to buy it. And I said, sure, run my credit. Let's see what we qualify for. But the key that I did was apply through my business. And the reason I did that is so that it doesn't count for my DTI, which is debt to income ratio, personally. So you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? So the reason I want to keep my DTI low is for my mortgages that I'm getting on my real estate. They're gonna count all your debts against you and see how it is compared to your income. And if you have too many debts, they may deny you for a mortgage. So I always want to keep my debt to income low because I'm gonna make way more money buying real estate than I am buying this Tesla. But when you finance through the business, it doesn't count against your DTI. It actually becomes a business debt and it doesn't show personally. So I said, hey, if they're gonna finance it through my business and give me a good interest rate and I don't gotta worry about my DTI being affected, then I'll do that all day. Because I know I can spend this $85,000 cash way better and invest it in bigger, better things such as real estate. So they ended up coming back to me and they said, hey, we'll finance the whole purchase for you, no down payment. All you have to do is cover taxes and registration, and we'll give you a 4.79% loan. I now have a loan with TD Auto. The payment's around $1,400. I would rather go pay that and have 85 grand in my bank and go flip and invest with it. So that's why we financed it. And that's my advice to you guys. If you're gonna finance it, try and do it through your business. Do not buy an expensive car that is gonna ruin your DTI. It's not worth it. Drive a beater car. Go get something you can buy cash, because owning real estate is far more important than owning a Tesla. All right, so let's talk about the tax side of this. Look, I'm not a tax expert, but I do own a tax company called TrueBooks. My partner, Matt, is a certified CPA. He's the expert. But what I'm gonna tell you is, on the tax side of this, we're gonna be able to write off almost all of this car. So in the tax code, section 179 says, as long as you use your car for over 50% business and it weighs over 6,000 pounds, you qualify for first year depreciation. In simple terms, it means I can basically write off this whole car. Now granted, I don't use the car for all business, so I have to allocate how much of business use I have for the car. Right now, this is business. I'm filming a YouTube video, showing it off. It's a business expense. I drive around, I go to appointments, I take clients, I meet investors with it. It's easy to justify that it's business. We'll probably write off 95% of it this year alone. So if you take the $85,000 purchase price, you take the taxes, the registration, it basically puts me all into the car around $92,000, $93,000. So we'll write off 95% of that. So figure I'm getting an $88,000 write-off. And being at the highest tax bracket at 37%, if you take 37% of $88,000, that means buying this car will save me about $32,000 in taxes. So essentially, this $85,000 car, when you factor in tax savings, really only cost me $53,000. And that's not counting the gas savings I'm gonna get. It's not counting the interest payments I'm gonna make on my car loan. And it's not counting all the emotional and great use I get out of it. If this thing can save my life because it can drive me around and be a better driver than me, by the way, I'm a really crappy driver, then you can't even put a price on it. But just in the raw numbers, with the tax savings, with all the write-offs, buying it used, getting the car loan, it was almost a no-brainer to buy it. Well, Actually, I've had multiple deals that paid for this car. And the reason I say that is there's many ways in real estate to afford this car. And I'll give you deals from 3 different examples. The first example is we have flipped multiple properties that have made more than $85,000. So if you just find one flip that does that, you could go buy this car cash. The second way we've paid for this car with one deal is through wholesaling. If you're not familiar with what wholesaling real estate is, you can go search through my channel where I talk about it. But essentially it is flipping houses without actually having to buy the house and fix it up. And we've had single deals that have paid for this car by itself. Lastly, you could buy this car through rental properties. We talked earlier about how my monthly payment is almost $1,400. There are multiple ways to make $1,400 a month in cash flow. You can own a bunch of properties that make you $200 to $300 a month. You can get an Airbnb that cash flows that amount by itself. And I know this because I have Airbnbs in Big Bear, California that can do that. Or you can go buy an apartment complex. If you watch this video right here, you can see how this apartment complex is grossing over $7,000 a month, and I don't even have a payment on it. So that apartment deal alone would pay for the payment on this car. So no matter what path you want to take in real estate, whether it's flipping, wholesaling, or rental properties, they can help you afford your dream car with just one deal. And if you're interested about learning more about that and you want to be coached by me directly, I want you to go to futureflipper.com, or you can click the link below. We've helped hundreds of people learn to flip houses and buy rental property. So in conclusion, I'm very happy with my Tesla purchase. At the end of the day, yes, we can make the numbers work and say this is a smart business decision. But if I had to be truthful with you guys, I'd say it's probably not. Nobody needs an $85,000 car. It's a want more than it is a need. At some point, you should enjoy the fruits of your labor if you're working hard, you're investing smart, and you're living the right way within your means. A $1,400 a month payment for me doesn't really matter. For most people, they should not have a $1,400 a month payment. So if you are gonna buy a luxury car, just make sure you're in the right financial position to do it. Unfortunately, most people aren't. And that's really my philosophy on cars. And if you haven't already, please make sure you go and hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you hit that little bell notification so you know when all my new videos are released. I'm sure I'll be making more videos about the Tesla and its different features as things go on, and I'll definitely be making a lot more videos about real estate investing and business and how you guys can use real estate to buy your Tesla one day. So in the end, there are a lot of benefits to buying this car, but remember, you don't need an $85,000 car. Most of the reason for buying this is simply emotional, and it's something I wanted to do. I've been working really hard. We've had a great year. It's time to enjoy some of the fruits of our labor. And as always, make sure you follow me on all my socials. And until next time, thanks for watching.